Alright class, tonight we're going to look at dividing polynomials using synthetic division. So in order to use synthetic division, the first thing we want to do here is we want to set up... Okay, so there was one interruption, so I'm back. We're going to go ahead and take the leading coefficients of our dividend. So that would be 1, -1, and -12. Make sure that you have them in the correct order. And then we're going to draw a line down and over like this. Leave some space here for the numbers to come down. The second thing we need to do is, since we're going to take this divisor here and we're going to set it equal to 0 as if it was a factor. What we're doing here is we're taking this, set it to 0, and we're going to solve for x. And if this was a factor of this, then this would be known as the root, okay? And that's going to go on the outside. Now, to do synthetic division, you pull down the first number and you multiply. So we're multiplying. So -3 times 1 is -3. Then we add. So -1 plus -3 is -4. And then we start this process again. -3 times -4 is +12. And then we add. -12 plus 12 is 0. And this is the remainder. So the next thing we have to do is we have to write the answer. So we're going to take the numbers that we came up with down here, and we're going to start off with writing it with 1 less degree than the original polynomial. So it's going to go from a second degree polynomial down to a first degree. So this would be 1x minus 4. Or x minus 4. Okay? So this divided by this is this. And that is our answer. So remember, the opposite of dividing is multiplying. So if I multiplied these two factors together, which we know they are factors because this went into this evenly. So this times this is this. So this is a root based on this factor. And if I wanted the other root, I would just set this factor equal to 0 and solve for x. And that would give us our other root. But the main thing you need to learn how to do right now is how to use synthetic division to divide. So let's take a look at another example. So let's say that we have x cubed minus 12 divided by x plus 1. So remember, the top number is your dividend, and that's going to go underneath the quotient symbol here, the dividing symbol. So we want to put in the coefficient. So our leading coefficient is 1. So you notice our x squared is missing, so we're going to need a 0. Our x term is missing, so we're going to need another 0. And then the -12 on the end. So I just know somebody's going to ask me where these zeros came from, even though I just explained it. But let me write it out here. X cubed plus 0x squared plus 0x minus 12. Okay? So remember, we have to divide by the root. So we want to take this factor, if it is a factor, we don't know for sure, set it equal to 0, and we're going to go ahead and solve for x. So we're actually going to divide by -1. And I wrote it wrong. So let's redo it so I don't confuse anybody. Draw a line down, leave a little space, -1 on the front. It's been a while since I've done synthetic division. Okay. So we bring down the first number, and then we use this process right here. So we're going to multiply. -1 times 1 is -1. And then we add. -1 times -1 is 1. And then we add. -1 times 1 is -1. And then we add. Notice this time we have a remainder. So since we have a remainder, we're going to have to add that onto the end in just a moment. So we started off with a cubic. So the answer is going to be 1 less than 3. So it's going to be 1x squared minus 1x plus 1. And then we have a remainder. So we're going to put minus 13 over, and then we're going to put that over the divisor, which was the x plus 1. And then that would be our answer. So in this situation, just a minute please. Another interruption, but that's okay. Alright, so here we are. We're going to divide this by this using synthetic division. So again, we want to order this correctly. So we're going to start with our x to the 4th. So our 4th degree term, then our 3rd degree term. Okay, then our 2nd degree term, which we do not have. So we're going to put the 0 in there. 1st degree term. And then our constant. And we're going to be dividing that by x minus 3. Okay, now we're ready to set up the synthetic division. Using the coefficients, and then we're going to divide by the root. So the root is going to be 3. Following the procedure, multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add. And the number on the end, remember, is our remainder. Okay? So, how do we write our answer? So remember, we're going to go 1 less than 4. So we're going to start off with 1 x cubed, okay, plus 0 x squared, plus, I'll write it out for you, plus 0x minus 12. And of course, we don't need that. So our final answer is going to be x cubed minus 12. So if you take this polynomial divided by this polynomial, we get this answer here. Okay, I hope you guys are having a good night. I'll see you in class tomorrow.